Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Kay Murray, Alejandro Moreno and Sheka Hislop here in the studio. Back in time for International Weekend to catch the back end of it. Rushed back for it. It was the penultimate round of games in UEFA today. So here's how Group E is looking. It is a 3-point lead for Spain over Turkey, who they face in their final match day on Tuesday. It means it will all go down to Tuesday to find out when direct qualification will be determined. But as it stands right now, it is very much in Spain's hands. As we welcome in Julien Laurent, lovely setting for Jules today, as you can see in his little chateau in France by the looks of it.
The tea party's over and we're preparing for the pre-dinner Bordeaux.
Meanwhile, Jules, Spain looking pretty good, even without Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, without Lamine Yamal, without Nico Williams, without Pedri, without a few more, and yet the collective is still so strong, isn't it? The Zubimendi goal is a wonderful team goal. The pass from Fabian at the end and the finish for Zubimendi, who plays in the number 9 position on that move to show you the movement and the rotation within those starting 11 is pretty remarkable. It's almost like if, Lamine is a bit different, but you can take one out and just put somebody else. The structure is still so good, so well drilled that you don't really see much of a difference. Georgia were not great, and now, unless something incredible happens, and Turkey would have to win 7-0 against Spain on Tuesday, which is not going to happen. Spain are into the World Cup.
When it comes to the World Cup, will it come down to whether they have Lamine Yamal or not, how far they'll go?
Well, it's certainly going to help. It makes them, I think, a significantly better team. But to Jules' point is what you're finding from Spain is that what's really impressive when you think about Luis de la Fuente and this team is that Luis de la Fuente, I don't think he has had his preferred best 11 throughout this World Cup qualifying cycle, consistently out on the field. If it's Lamine is missing, maybe Nico Williams is missing, now Pedri is missing, and if Pedri is in, then somebody else is missing. It feels like he still hasn't had what he would think would be his best 11 out there, and yet this is a team that has gone through this World Cup qualifying cycle. Whatever you may think of the group, whatever you may think of the strength of the teams that they're playing against, you see the 19-goal differential there, the plus 19? It's plus 19 because they scored 19 and they haven't given up any. Now, we think of Spain, of course, as a team that keeps possession of the ball, that creates chances, that is going to score goals. But defensively, you think that there may be some issues there. That hasn't been the case, at least not in this World Cup qualifying cycle. So it shows you that they're more than Lamine Yamal. But, of course, having Lamine Yamal on the field takes them from one of the favorites to one of the teams that are in the conversation to the very elite, to the very top. And you also look at the other teams that are considered historically to be among the favorites, and you're thinking, Germany, they're not that impressive. Brazil, haven't been all that impressive. You're thinking that Argentina will be there, you think that France will be there, but even France has had their issues, and so you start thinking about teams that are really contenders to win this whole thing, and Spain has to be among the very top and among the very best.
Do you think this whole club versus country argument that we're seeing with Lamine Yamal and Barcelona and Spain will cause any problems along the way here, Shaka?
I don't anticipate that at all. Listen, my own experience is a clear separation of duties when you're playing with your club and when you're playing with your country. You can have arguments, all sorts that happens at club level, but I think is easily dismissed at international level. I don't expect it, especially given what we're talking about, a World Cup. I don't expect there to be any kind of animosity within that squad, any kind of overlap.
Do you think it... Go on, Ale.
I was just going to... Because I think this conversation is going to go in a different direction. But before we move on, it's just... Lamine Yamal missing. Nico Williams missing. I know he's not the star player, and I know that he's not the guy that is going to attract a lot of attention. But I got to give a shout out to Mikel Oyarzabal. And the only reason I do that is because while your line of question is Lamine Yamal, and of course that makes sense. And of course Lamine Yamal and his relationship with Barcelona and the national team, that grabs attention, that grabs headlines. The consistent performer for this team in the front line has been Mikel Oyarzabal. And he's not an out-and-out striker, but he's playing like it with Spain, scoring goals consistently for this national team, hold up play, little touches here, little touches there that kind of keep everything together in the final third. He has been critical to the success. And if we're thinking about Spain winning a World Cup, we'll focus on Lamine Yamal, we'll focus on Nico Williams, we'll focus on Pedri. They're going to need that productivity from that position, and they're getting it from Mikel Oyarzabal.
And while we are on the subject of La Liga, let's talk about players that we do see feature there, as we have been doing. Kylian Mbappe leaving the French national team to return to Real Madrid for scans on his injured ankle. What's the latest on his injury update, Jules?
It's interesting because I'm not sure the scans have actually happened. It seems we had the conflicted report. On one hand, the French Federation and the French team telling us that he was going back to Madrid. That we know. He's now in Azerbaijan with the French who are playing there tomorrow, and that he was going back because the ankle was still a bit swollen and hurting him a little bit, that they would do scans on Friday. Then Real Madrid were like, what scans? So I'm not sure the scans actually happened, but I think overall the bigger picture is that I don't think anybody really wanted him to travel to Azerbaijan. I don't think he probably wanted to go. Certainly not Real Madrid. For Deschamps, I think if there's one player that you can maybe give an exemption to, it could be him. Whether the ankle is really damaged or not, whether it's still hurting him or not, I would want to believe that that's the truth. Why would they say so if it was not the case? But I think he would be fine for the game so next weekend, basically, when the La Liga returns. We just saw the fixture list there. And I think there's no worries to have, really. I think if that game had been in Paris, for example, or maybe closer than Azerbaijan, or maybe if there had been still something to play for France, if they hadn't qualified already, he probably would have stayed with the squads. But I think in the end, everybody was kind of happy with the fact that he could go home.
Yeah, it is another name on the injury list for Real Madrid right now. Not all of them are too serious, and obviously everybody at Real Madrid will be hoping that that is the case with Kylian Mbappe as well. But this is how things are looking right now, and as they do return to action, Jules, we know that they have 2 games without a win behind them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a long injury list when you think that we're only in November. That's a lot of players, some obviously in key positions as well, like Kylian, of course, because Xabi Alonso will have to find if Kylian can play. But again, I think he will play against Elche. But if he could not play, have to find a different option there in that number 9 spot. Camavinga in that midfield, I think you look at Valverde more importantly, and that right back position, Carvajal is also missing. There's Trent who's on the bench, but clearly Xabi Alonso doesn't fancy him that much or doesn't trust him that much because Valverde has been playing there even when Trent was back from injury. So now Trent is not the only option because we saw Eder Militao playing at right back with Brazil today against Senegal in London. So we will have to see, but that's a long list of injuries for Xabi Alonso for sure.
There's been a few concerns for Xabi Alonso in this aspect, particularly Kylian Mbappe not scoring in those past 2 games either for Real Madrid because he's been such a crucial part for them this season.
If I'm Xabi Alonso, I'm not concerned about Kylian Mbappe, and I'm not concerned with this ankle situation. This has all the markings of... are we done here? Did we qualify? Is the job done here? Coach, see you, but I'll see you. Take care. We talk before Christmas? Yeah, all right. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you, Merry Christmas, all right? Say hi to the family for me. He wasn't sticking around, and the ankle became a very convenient reason. So I'm not concerned about Kylian Mbappe. I am, however, concerned about Fede Valverde. And I'll tell you how concerned I am. So concerned that in our graphic, for an injury, we just said muscle. The muscle. Some sort of muscle.
Muscular.
Yeah, it's a muscular injury, as general as it can be. But if indeed this is an issue for Fede Valverde, it's an issue not only for Xabi Alonso, but it's an issue for all of Real Madrid. Because you have in Fede Valverde a guy that covers a lot of ground in many different positions. And so you could do with Camavinga being injured. You could do with other players being injured. With Valverde injured, it's a problem. Because he is more than just one position and more than just one hole.
Kylian Mbappe has been asked about some of the reported unrest behind the scenes at Real Madrid, and this is what he had to say about some of the talk of what's going on. He said, "What do you want me to say? I have nothing to say. In the end, we're top of La Liga and among the top 8 in the Champions League. It's not perfect, but we all know that when things aren't working on the pitch, people talk and talk. But we are united to win every title this year." Jules, we hear that players aren't happy behind the scenes at Real Madrid right now. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, some of them are. I mean, Kylian is happy, obviously. This has become his team and he's been outstanding since the start of the season. I think he's 20 games for club and country and he's on 24 goals and 4 assists, something like that. So it's been an incredible start of the year if you compare to a year ago when he was hitting rock bottom. If you repeat his own words, it's a very, very different picture that we have now. So he's happy. There are, as we know, some players in that dressing room who are not too happy because of the game time, because of probably the methods of Xabi Alonso as a coach, which again we've explained a few times on the show. This is not new. We saw that by Leverkusen. Some players missing because some players were leaving Bayer Leverkusen because they just didn't get on and they just could not work with him. So there's probably a bit of that. He's a strict manager. He can be cold at times, and maybe some players don't react well to this. There's also players who right now maybe don't have the status that they used to have under Carlo Ancelotti last season. If you think about Jude Bellingham, if you think of Vinicius Jr, for example, who again in the Rayo Vallecano game seems to be quite unhappy with some of the decisions that Xabi Alonso took, again, not long after what happened previously for him. So in the Clásico. So there's probably a bit of discontent in some quarters, but as long as they're winning, even if they're not playing great, as long as they're still top of La Liga and very much in contention in the Champions League, I think that will probably paper over the cracks. The problem will be the day they stop winning.
Yeah, we are definitely going to touch on Vini Jr in this show today, but I just want to talk to you about this report of the players that are unhappy. Is that a problem at Real Madrid if it's true?
Potentially, yes. Because given we're talking about Vinicius Jr and his importance to this Real Madrid side, and continues to not just be unhappy, but on the face of it, grow unhappier. And that's a concern, especially given how narrow those margins are in La Liga between them and Barcelona, in the Champions League, especially once you go deeper in the competition. To have a player of Vini's quality, of Vini's standing within that dressing room, to be as unhappy as he seems to be right now, that continues, that escalates. It becomes a major issue for Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. I'm not sure how you kind of get this back together, how Xabi Alonso gets this under control, because in such a short space of time, I don't think anybody expected it to escalate to the point that it is. I'm not sure how it resolves itself unless somebody like Kylian Mbappe takes a big leadership role within this dressing room and somehow gets that dust to settle.
I know, or we know that Vini is not happy, but who are these other 4 players? Report. It doesn't get any more vague that 5 Real Madrid players unhappy with Xabi Alonso. Okay. So a new manager comes in. You don't get the same treatment, freedom, or liberties that you had under the old manager, in this case, Carlo Ancelotti. This guy is demanding a little bit more from you or something different from you. You don't quite like it. And now you are, quote unquote, unhappy. That is reality for every team that changes managers. The new one comes in, has a different viewpoint, has a different work methodology, decides to go in a different direction. That direction doesn't put you as a priority. You feel aggrieved. You feel like, wait a minute, but we were winning with me on the field. What are you going to do without me? Well, we're going to keep winning, but with somebody else. Yeah, that doesn't make you happy. Again, this is as vague a report as you can have. And yes, there are going to be unhappy players. That is the case for every team out there in the world playing at a high level when a new manager comes in.
Yeah, we know a few of the names that have been reported, Jules. Obviously, it's saying 5 here. There's Bellingham's been mentioned. We've seen the fact that Fede Valverde's been mentioned. Any other names that have been mentioned?
There's been a few. I mean, Rodrigo is obviously not happy. I think Brahim Diaz is not happy either because of the game time that has disappeared for them. Valverde playing at right back. I think he's very happy to help the team as the club captain. But we know that's not the position he would rather play. So if Trent is available and yet it's still him playing right back, you know he's not going to be too happy with that. He's going to do the job, of course, and he's such an amazing servant to the club. But that probably creates a bit of frustration in him, like the others who would like to play more and are just not giving their chance, for example. So I think, like Ali said, it's inevitable. Every team, every level, not even just the pros, at every level, you're not happy if your manager doesn't play you enough or if he plays you out of position or not where you would rather play in the first place. I think this is inevitable, and I think that's why Xabi Alonso is not too bothered, to be fair, by it. All he thinks of is collective structure, improving this team in possession, out of possession. There's been some changes and improvements compared to last season. We've seen that it's far from perfect, like Kylian was saying earlier, and like we've seen in games where they were easily beaten, like away at Liverpool recently in the Champions League, for example. So there's still a lot of work to do, and I don't think you can spend too much time focusing on who's happy, who's not happy, who is kind of happy but kind of unhappy, 50-50, 60-40. There's no time for him to do that. So just focus on the next game and try to improve this team collectively.
This is what he's had to say about Carlo Ancelotti's impact with Brazil. The Brazil, obviously, national team manager. He said he's giving us confidence, making everyone feel comfortable, taking advantage of each player's best characteristics in their positions. He gives us peace of mind, making the work easier, and everyone enjoys it. Now, Shaka, some people have speculated that this is an indirect message, or maybe a direct message,
I was about to say,
to Xabi Alonso.
I think without question, given what we've heard from Vinicius Jr. since the start of the season, given his unhappiness, which we've discussed, and given his success with Carlo Ancelotti at the helm of Real Madrid, his importance to that success, this is very thinly veiled, and that's put as nice as I possibly can. And you understand, and you sympathise. Again, given the success with Ancelotti, given his frustration so far this year, he's not shy to make those feelings known.
But Ali, hasn't he just been asked about his former Real Madrid coach, Carlo Ancelotti, and his current Brazil coach, Carlo Ancelotti? You know, he won a lot of things with this coach. Wouldn't he say something like this about Ancelotti?
Well, yes, but I think we may have missed something in the graphic, because I'm pretty sure that right above the start of the quote, it should have said, "Dear Xabi, comma," and then all of it. Look, it is true about Carlo Ancelotti, but it is a message. It absolutely is a message. You don't have to read between the lines. It's right there, and it's telling you exactly like, hey, this guy gives me freedom. This other guy over here, he's taking all the freedom. He's taking all the joy. He's sucking the joy out of life. In fact, I don't want to be around him. I know, by the way, he dares to take me off the field. How dare he? Absolutely, there's a message here that is still very carefully crafted, I would say, and I would suggest, in that I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I'm merely talking about Carlo Ancelotti. But let me just say, again, we're missing a part that says, "Dear Xabi, comma."
Yeah, missing Xabi's name out again. We've already seen that this season. Now, Mbappe's done so much for Real Madrid since he's arrived, Jules, and so much particularly this season. Could he also play the role of peacemaker here between Xabi and Vini?
I guess, I don't think that's his role, but I guess he could do it. Of course, anybody could do it. I think you probably look more at Valverde and those kind of characters who've been there a long time, who know the house and the institution that Real Madrid is, really. But do they need a peacemaker for? I think it's very simple. Again, we go back to change of managers. When somebody arrives with different ideas, different philosophies, different methodologies, like we said earlier, you had a manager in Carlo Ancelotti that was the opposite of being rigid, right? Tactically, especially. Do what you want. Let's play the way you want. It's cool. I'm just going to manage egos and be your friend and dance when we win the Champions League together and smoke my cigar on the bus parade. And this is cool. I'm the coolest guy in the world. Perfect. And then you get Xabi Alonso, the complete opposite. Rigidity, structure, discipline, being strict. This is what we do. This is when the ball is there, this is what we do. When the ball is doing that, this is what we do. This is not what Carlo Ancelotti used to do. And when you're used to Carlo Ancelotti, and when you're Vinicius Jr., who feels like to be happy on the pitch, he needs to have the freedom, not the rigidity, then it's a massive change and a big difference. And I'm just not sure Vini is a guy that can express his potential and be fulfilled in a very structured environment. And that's the problem here. So then what do? I don't think it's about kind of making peace between Xabi and Vini. It's just, can he play in a structured team like the Xabi Alonso's teams are? Yes or no? If it's yes, great. You can do a great job together. If it's no, just find another club. You still haven't extended your contract.
Jules just mentioned Fede Valverde as potentially a peacemaker. And I can see this conversation happening. Vini going to Fede Valverde and say, Fede, you got to help me out with this guy, man. I don't know what else to do. And Fede Valverde turns to Vini and said, bro, I got my own issues. He's got me playing right back. I don't want to be over there. I got my own issues. Let me sort myself out, and then we'll talk about your situation.
Yeah, worry about yourself.
Take a question, okay. I can't see anybody in that dressing room have any kind of calming effect on Vinicius Jr. And I'll keep going back to it. When Vinicius Jr. was at his absolute best, when Real Madrid was winning Champions League a couple of years ago, and he was unquestionably the star player, Real Madrid put him on a pedestal that no one could take him off of. Now that Kylian Mbappe has come in and he's now the star player, he's the last person that Vinicius Jr. is going to be listening to at this point. So I think this is an issue of Real's own making, and I'm not sure that there's anybody who, outside of Carlo Ancelotti, who can fix it.
So are you suggesting that a big-time player that gets pushed off the pedestal by a new incoming player who's a bigger name and a bigger brand and a bigger presence, that hurts some feelings?
Well, much like Vinicius' statement, it's pretty easy to read between those lines.
All right, okay.
Let's see what Jules has got to tell us about the injury to Gabriel here. Is it serious?
We don't know much yet. It's a bit early. The question was asked to Carlo Ancelotti after the game. He said he felt something in his groin on the right hand side. We saw that on the footage anyway. I guess if you're Mikel Arteta right now and any Arsenal fan around the world, you're just hoping that it is by precaution that Gabriel came off, that he would not be too serious, because in a week time they obviously play the North London derby against Tottenham, and after that they will have Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League, and then they go away at Chelsea the following weekend. So there's loads of massive games coming up for Arsenal, and the last thing you want is to lose Gabriel before those games. So I think the scan's probably booked for tomorrow, I believe. At least it's good he's in London right now, because the game was at the Emirates. They've been training at the Arsenal training ground pretty much all week for this game against Senegal. So he's in familiar territory, if you want, which is a very good thing, even to be assessed by his own doctors, unlike other players who might be with the national team far away from where the clubs are. So that's the positive thing. But for now, we don't know too much about it. Carlo Ancelotti didn't seem too worried, I guess. But again, I don't think he knew too much about it either.
So Belgium clinch a top 2 spot at least via this draw, but they must wait until Tuesday now to determine their direct qualification. They meet Liechtenstein on Tuesday, who have 0 points so far. Just the win to ensure that things will be okay. A draw would likely be enough as well. North Macedonia will be away to Wales on Tuesday. If they win and Belgium lose, it would be them who go through. But as it stands right now, it's very much looking like it's Belgium, Jules.
Yeah, it should be, although it doesn't take anything away from how bad they were today in that first half, especially. In the second half, they had enough chances. We saw the last one from Raskin, but we could have showed you a few more. They should have won that game. But yet, their first half was horrendous, really. And it's not the first time that Rudi Garcia has struggled a little bit with his team. And today, you look at that starting lineup. Of course, there's no Kevin De Bruyne. Of course, there's no Romelu Lukaku. They are missing players. And certainly, the likes of Doku or Trossard, De Ketelaere should have done more. But it was a poor first half. And the consistency is lacking so much since Rudi Garcia took over. Really, they're going to beat Liechtenstein at home and they're going to qualify and top their group. Okay, and the interesting game really is the Wales against North Macedonia for that playoff spot, and who finishing second. Really, that's the only thing in this group that is still at stake, because there's no way Belgium are going to drop points against Liechtenstein. However, I think the debate here is the kind of work that Garcia is doing with his team. Where is his team at really 6 months before the World Cup, a little bit more than 6 months before the World Cup? Can they be outsider? Can they even reach the last 8 of that tournament? Looking at them again today, I just thought that first half was unacceptable how bad it was.
So this is how things look in Group C right now. Denmark are 1 point ahead of Scotland, and they play each other next to see who qualifies in Hampden. It's all going to come down to that game, Jules. Scotland have the home advantage.
Yeah, they will have that, but they're points behind, as we've just seen on the schedule, and you wonder how, because on the game today, they should have never not won that game. Really, it's incredible all the chances that they had and how many times they just could not find the back of the net. It's just, I mean, if they do miss out and they only draw, let's say with Denmark, for example, and finish second and have to go through the playoffs, and not make it to the World Cup, it would be such a waste because they had so much opportunities, not just today on this game against Greece, but through the whole qualifiers in this group, opportunities to get more points and to be now in this position where they could actually have more than Denmark is crazy. And Belarus, we never thought that Denmark would drop points against Belarus, and to be fair, they were cruising in that game until they switched off for 2 minutes, considered the 2 goals that we saw on the highlights, and then came back, but just to salvage the points. But I don't think in Scotland they even believed that Denmark could drop points against Belarus. So that was their chance, and yet when they had to do the job, they could not do it or they didn't do it.
That's going to be some atmosphere in this next game.
Absolutely will. Given everything at stake for Scotland at home, must-win game, I think it'll be a great opportunity. It'll be a great game to be at, just kind of given everything at stake. You're
Stevie and Craig aren't here. Are they going to do it?
Yes, they will. I'm saying that generally not just to appease Craig and Stevie.
Well, can you not take the role of Stevie and?
Can it be negative?
Yes.
Well, you know, I think we'll have to wait to see how this game goes. A lot could happen with these Danes, you know.
They're probably not going to do it.
Winning the body deodorant of, what was it?
Winning is the deodorant that masks.
Right. All that. Something like that, Stevie says.
The smell and the trouble behind the scenes. Something along those lines.
Nobody can mask
Stevie's smell. Yeah, that's the only sensible thing Stevie's ever said.
Denmark or Scotland? Who have you got, LA?
I'm going to take Denmark because why not?
Because why not?
Because why not?
Why not? Why not?
I'm taking Scotland.
Well, yeah, you know, but you're playing to Stevie.
Okay.
What?
To the crowd of Stevie.
Unlucky, Graham.
So that's how things are looking here in Group B as it stands right now. Sweden, though, that's where I want to talk. Look at this. Just a point there. Okay, let's first of all talk about Switzerland. Almost there, Jules. Pretty much there, Jules.
Yeah, it's a good win for them and for Yakin, who at times had been under pressure a little bit because the results haven't been, certainly the performances haven't been that great with what is a great squad in terms of the old generation is still there very much. The Rodriguez and the Chakas, this is the last World Cup, this is the last dance, all that kind of narrative, great. And the youngsters are really good. The Endoys, the Vargas that you see there on the starting lineup, on the graphics that we have. And even more coming off the bench, like Monzombi, who's obviously great, and even somebody like Okafor at Leeds, who's not being called up, but is very much in the conversation still. So you've got something great there in Switzerland. They've got experience, they've got youth, they've got a bit of everything, and yet it seems that it's not completely clicking for Yakin. So good win today, because Kosovo also won behind. So if Switzerland had dropped points tonight, it would have been a bit tense before the last game next week. But now they're pretty much through. And I don't know, there's something that tells me that I would not want to face them at the World Cup.
No, but usually we talk about a team like Sweden, Jules, and they're often a team that you say, I don't want to face Sweden. I don't want to face Sweden if it comes to qualifying. This is a tough team to come up against. And they have underwhelmed in this qualifying campaign.
Yeah, it's been a disaster for them. I mean, Jonathan Thomasson obviously was sacked halfway through, more than halfway through, because of the bad results and the bad performances again. When you think that you can have Isak and Gyökeres in your team, just to mention your front two, and the rest is pretty good as well, to be fair. It's not as good as the Norwegian squad, but it's not that far, it's not that bad. And yet you can't score for your lives, you can't get a win even. That's how bad things were in a group that is not the group of death either, really, if you think about it and if you look into it. So Thomasson had to go, really, and then Graham Potter has just arrived, first game in charge today. We saw again defensively a lot of mistakes being made. There's a lot of work to do with this generation, but they still have a chance to qualify through the Nations League, so it's not completely over for Potter, but certainly this qualifier group was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, Shaka, you've got a lot to answer for, you know. Isak's in this team.
No.
Jan's been delighting in it, that Norway have got their striker and are doing so well with it. There is a lot of attacking prowess here at Sweden.
He deserted Newcastle. All his issues are his own making.
He might have deserted Sweden here as well.
Well, if you're gonna go ahead and desert, just go whole hog with it. Listen, to see Sweden struggling this way, I'm as surprised as anybody. But again, they have their issues. Whether Potter's demand to fix them, I guess time will tell. They like Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela, have got 4 years to think about this.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. In a comfortable,
Come join
a comfortable couch.
Yeah, yep.
Comfortable couch. These guys can definitely sympathise.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be sitting on that couch comfortably.
Comfortably, not worrying. Neutrals throughout the World Cup. just what they hoped for. They didn't want to be getting involved. They wanted just a chill
I wanted to
summer
do my job
ahead.
fully without worrying about anybody else.
Absolutely. Okay. We need to touch on Group H because we also saw games played there today. This is how things are looking right now. Austria beat Cyprus 2-0. We also got to see Bosnia-Herzegovina beating Romania 3-1 as well. No one fully qualified from this group just yet. All right. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time.
So
Under
what happened
17
between
World Cup
Venezuela and
doesn't count.
England? What happened between Venezuela and England?
So Venezuela beat England in the U17s.
How much?
3-0.
That's
Or as the English people would say, 3-0.
oh, that's pretty convincing.
Yeah, it was
How come we
convincing.
didn't show that?
Well, because there is an agenda, and our producer is English,
There's
and then our host is English
I'm
as well.
American as
There's
well.
an anti-Venezuela.
No,
agenda.
you're don't be like Seb that picks and chooses.
Fine. Once again, good to stay out of this.
Okay.
I'll
All right, Switzerland
be over
there.
here if you need me. I'll be over here if you need me.
All right.
But,
You know,
but why are you enjoying it?
Loves it. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. Jules is with us as well, from his lovely little French chateau.
Yes. Where is the Bordeaux now?
Oh boy! Ah.
Lovely, lovely interior decor there, Jules.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I mean, I wouldn't expect any less from Jules.
Oh, me neither. It's a classy guy.
Yes.
Okay. Frank mentioned yesterday how Germany are no longer the feared team they once were. The same could be said about Brazil. Which of the two teams do you think will have more success at the World Cup?
Boy.
Jules.
So good question. I still think that Brazil are in better shape right now than Germany. I mean, Germany the other day against Luxembourg were at times embarrassing, and that's me being kind. And you know, I'm not usually that kind. Voltemade saved the day, but I really think that despite Carlo Ancelotti only have been with Brazil 2 minutes compared to Nagelsmann, obviously, who's been there a bit longer, I still think that Brazil right now are slightly in a better shape than Germany and probably have a bit more talent going forward even. Let's see when Musiala comes back, but right now I would say Brazil probably just a little bit better than Germany.
You guys agree with Jules?
The trend for Germany started a while back. If you go back to the World Cup in which they don't make it out of the group stage, you're thinking, wait, this team is just not trending in the right direction. And Nagelsmann was the one that was supposed to sort of switch that around. But the problem is, it's not only Nagelsmann, it's that I think, comparatively speaking to what we think of Germany in the past, there is a shortage of talent. Their best players, that used to be, all of them used to be at the elite level, their best players now are, okay, so you're saying Florian Wirtz would be if not their best player, among their best players. You see him struggling with Liverpool, and you kind of go, man, that guy, he's got a lot of talent, but we need to see it. Yeah, their best defender, according to some of the German media, is Nico Schlotterbeck. And let me just tell you, not a fan. I'm not a fan of Nico Schlotterbeck. I'm not hiding that. But that's where they are. And I think across the board, Germany, they're nowhere near where they have been historically. And you can make some of the same conversations and same arguments at Brazil. I just think, like Jules, they're a step ahead and they will be more successful than Germany come the World Cup.
I'll agree. I say Brazil are trending in the better direction right now. with Carlo
Ancelotti's such a chill coach. He lets you do as you please, and you know he passes such great confidence to the team.
Keeps everybody happy.
Keeps everybody happy. Plays them in the correct position.
It's enjoyable to be around
really
this team.
enjoyable to be around this
I
team.
heard somebody say that before as well, you know.
Jules, many of the anti-Xabi stories came out in pro-Madrid newspapers. Is that a sign that Florentino Perez and Madrid's leadership do not 100% back Xabi?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. When you know some of the relationship that Florentino Perez, maybe not him directly even, although he has some allies very much in us and Marca for sure. People around him are very good always to kind of plan those stories and brief and and league stuff. I don't know if it comes from the top at Real Madrid. I don't know. It could usually those kind of stories come more from the agents of the unhappy players more than anything else. Really, this is not good for Real Madrid. By the way, stories like this, lack of unity and discontent within the squad and in the dressing room, all of that. This is from a club's point of view. This is not good. So I would not think so. I would think probably more of an agent or two whose clients are not happy, whose players are not happy, and putting those stories out.
You think?
About agents putting out stories?
No, about this, about the pro Madrid newspapers.
I think Vini's putting on his own stories. Vini's calling everybody up.
Man, have I got some news for you.
Everybody hates a meal.
How can I say so much without adding Xabi's name to it?
Yeah, look. The key to all of this for Real Madrid, for Xabi, for Florentino Perez, for Vini, they keep winning. They're all on the same train. The problem becomes, are there as many fractures as the reports would suggest? And if that's the case, the moment they go on a bad run, sustained bad run, this is going south quick. If indeed those reports are true. Because nothing separates more a team than losing. And if there are fractures, that separation is going to go quick, wide, and spread all over that locker room.
Okay, what's your thoughts on Poch's comments that no one can feel safe about making the US men's national team World Cup roster? Do you think these comments were aimed at some specific players, or is this more about developing the culture of the team?
No, this is just what any manager says about any team. And nobody believes them. Nobody ever believes them. That's just what Pochettino has to say about, I mean, as we sit right now, without thinking too hard about it, we could probably come with 15 players who definitely will be there. And
Hey, don't think too hard, Shaq.
no, I'm not. I'm not in the habit of doing that now.
Okay. Not
Smell the
hey,
wood burning.
why start now,
Right,
no, Shaq?
exactly.
This is not the subject to start on.
No, nor is it the day. Saturdays, think hard. No. So yeah. So that's all I think about that.
This whole it seems like every press conference now with Pochettino somehow turns into the culture.
Yeah.
And that his sole purpose in life is to change and to improve the culture in this country, the soccer culture in this country. Just win games and have this team ready to play when the World Cup comes around. Because guess what? This whole culture that you're trying to change, that you are so infatuated, seemingly, and you're so obsessed with, you're going to leave this culture behind when the World Cup is over and the Premier League comes knocking. So, yeah, spare me with this whole, we're changing the culture.
Okay, Ale, percentage chance of Spain winning the World Cup. Which three teams are your top contenders?
I'll give Spain... I'm going to go with Spain 40%. France, similarly. 40%, Argentina, 20%.
Nobody else has a chance.
Well, I'm just saying, they say
these
top three.
three.
I broke it in the top three.
Spain, France, and Argentina.
Yes.
Okay.
That somebody else may have a chance, but I was asked to give three, Shaq.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you haven't left any spare percentages over for anybody else.
Because they asked for three, right? That was the question.
If you were to give a top three, would that be fair? Spain, France, and Argentina?
Yeah, I think so. I think three, you need to put England in there because I think Thomas Tuchel could do something interesting at the World Cup with the squad that he has. For sure, and Brazil and Carlo Ancelotti that we just talked about, because it's Brazil, because they will have huge support and because they know the conditions and things like that, certainly more than the Europeans, without a doubt. But yeah, I think it would be there. I don't really believe in Portugal and Roberto Martinez and Cristiano, certainly not at the same level. Of course, they can do it, but not at the same level as the others that we mentioned. But Spain have to be above the others. So I agree with Ali in the 40% for Spain, and then France, England, Argentina just below.
Question for Jules. Do you think Deschamps releasing Mbappe is really due to an injury or just to do him a favour? Because it's already happened in the past, and today the media in France are heavily criticising those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on the show, didn't we? I think It's interesting. Bichanté Lizarazu, who is the former French left back who played for Bayern Munich and won the World Cup and the Euros with Frank, was saying in his column in L'Equipe, he has a column in L'Equipe every time the national team plays, and he said, listen, don't talk to me about privileges and some players, there's rules. And he said, this is Kylian Mbappe. He hasn't been fully fit. If Deschamps feels like it's better for him, even in his own relationship with Kylian, to let him go home. France are qualified. Deschamps is going to make 11 changes for the Azerbaijan game anyway. Even if Mbappe had been in the squad, he probably would not have started that game. So he can go home. Kone is suspended, he's gone home. Kamavinga is a bit injured, he's gone home. A few others have gone home. It's a fresh new team tomorrow with a lot of unexperienced youngsters and a bit of experience there and there. New goalkeeper, new wingers, all of that. So I don't think there's need to create a scandal here about the fact that Kylian has left. Whether he's fully injured or a little bit injured, I'm not even sure he matters that much, to be fair. I think he deserved that bit of a break.
Can I just say, during the show, I have never seen anybody do as good a job of saying, listen, Kylian is faking, without saying, Kylian is faking. I thought it was an absolute masterclass by our very own Jules.
All right.
It was. I was like, what did Jules say? Was he not saying? It was good.
It's just a convenient injury.
I think the technical term is the Azerbaijan ankle.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes. That's.
And how do you treat that one, Shaq?
You have to go back to France.
Oh, because they have specialists there.
Preferably a small chateau in the north.
Ah, yes. with a Bordeaux.
We wanted with a lovely Bordeaux. Works wonders. Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, well, that's nice because we're talking about things that are nice. Thanksgiving's coming up, and the next question is for you two.
Okay.
Shaka and Ale, Thanksgiving is coming up. What Trinidadian and Venezuelan dishes would you make for the panel?
Well, would I make for the panel?
Yeah. First mistake.
Can you cook that?
Would I bring in for the panel? Yeah. This is a
I made it with love.
There you go. Here's a lovely bit of toast.
With egg whites.
His body's a temple.
My body's a temple. What would I bring in for the panel? I'd bring a dish. Well, I'd make a dish called. I love kalaloo. I'm not sure it's everybody's. It would be for everybody.
Controversial choice already.
Yeah, it is. It is. My kids refuse to touch it. I love it.
And what is it?
It's greens. We typically use a kalaloo bush that we get in Trinidad, which I can't get up here. So we use spinach up here. So it's kind of greens cooked down with okra and onions and seasoned and cooked down. And I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, well, I can see why people would think otherwise.
It's
an acquired taste?
It's a very Trinidadian dish, but it is required.
No, but you're bringing this to people that are not familiar with your specific personal taste.
I already know Stevie won't touch it.
Well, that cannot be the standard, though.
There's no mince in it.
What's your favourite dish at home?
My favourite dish at home? Probably outside of the usuals. My wife would do a turkey, a beef. She may do lamb.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I'm not a huge turkey fan, by the way. I just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah. It's a little overrated.
Yes.
And if you don't get it right, you don't have
right.
enough moisture, it's a problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'll go for the lamb and the beef and the everything else. I'll have a little bit of turkey because I guess by law you should. And I really eat a lot of kalaloo. I really do. My body's a temple, as you know.
Kalaloo.
Kalaloo, yes.
Kalaloo. Does it sound nice to you, Jules? Kalaloo?
Yeah, absolutely. I try anything that Shaka would bring to me, to be
Mouth
fair.
watering.
This feels like another one of those. My ankle's hurting, but it's not really at the moment.
he got a case of the Azerbaijan kalaloo.
Oh boy.
Ale, can you raise the bar from the kalaloo?
I hope so. Well,
I'm not sure you can. I'm not sure the kalaloo bar can be raised.
Since you're not a big fan of the turkey, then I would feel like I would have to bring another meat. I would bring shredded beef from Venezuela. hopefully made by my mother. Oh, my beautiful mother. And some arepas in which you can stuff the shredded beef, and then everything will be happy. In fact, you can even stuff the callaloo inside the arepa and still be good.
Baby, everybody's a winner now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a winner. What are you bringing? What are you bringing to the party?
Nobody asked what the English person
I
is.
am asking what you're bringing. And don't tell me.
A chicken parmo.
Parmo, that's the one. Oh, God.
Middlesbrough's
I've heard so
finest
much about this
dish.
parmo. I don't know what the hell it is. What's a parmo?
Okay, it's an escala of chicken or pork, so like all breaded.
Right.
On top of that is bechamel sauce, like what you'd get in lasagna.
Yes.
And then on top of that is layers of cheese. And if you want, you can put things on top of that even, spices and whatnot. Chips on the side and salad, of course, just to add to the 1,500 calories.
That's the balance, just the balance of the chips.
How
and
do you
the
feel?
cheese.
How do you feel about the fact that Kay felt like she needed to explain to us what bechamel sauce was?
Well, he doesn't cook, so I wasn't sure.
I didn't say I don't cook. I just said I'm not cooking for you all.
You know what's on top of the lasagna, Shaq? Okay, all right,
Jules.
that's bechamel sauce.
Arepas with shredded beef, callaloo, or a parmo. What do you want?
I go for Ali Venezuelan dish.
Boom.
You too? Nah, yeah, Ali every day. Especially made by his mother, for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful, my beautiful
Okay.
mother. Vamos, Venezuela!
Yeah.
It's the only time that I get to yell that
I
nowadays.
look forward to some beef from
Yeah,
Mama
I think we
Moreno.
can all agree
I
with
look
that.
forward to
We
it.
can all agree with that. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Thanks to the panel for answering them. We're off to go and eat now. That's made me hungry.
I'm starving, dog.
Callaloo. What?
You got me.